Leyland's quest for a World Series brought him to South Florida in 1997 to manage the Marlins. The team was just in its 5th year of existence, but already had a roster rich in talent.
The Marlins are headed in the right direction. I'm no savior by any means. I'm here just to help orchestrate this thing.
The presence of an individual can be the difference between first place and last place in my mind.
Jim Leyland looks on as his Marlins are crunching his former Buck team. What a great addition he's been.
He took that club that was ready to win, he molded it, and I think he was a difference maker for us.
Leyland led the Marlins to the National League wild card, and after knocking off the Giants and then the favored Braves, finally, Jim Leyland would manage in the World Series.
We got it. We're going to the World That's Series. Right, baby. Let's go ahead and win. If it hits on that yellow line and stays back in, it's in play.
In that World Series, the Marlins faced the Cleveland Indians. The teams traded victories through the first 6 games, and that set the stage for an unforgettable Game 7.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Game 7. I'm Bob Costas for the call of this final game of the 1997 World Series.
I remember him saying to the team that we're not going to lose. He said some choice words with it, and we're not going to lose. And it was almost like he was talking to you directly. It resonated with me, and I think it resonated with the rest of the team.
Here's Jarrett Wright. He's a couple of years removed from high school. He gets the ball for Game 7. But here's Jim Leyland in the other dugout, and he rode all those buses for all those years, maybe dreaming about a game like this. Was that thought actually going through your mind?
No question about it. I mean, you really kind of had to pinch yourself to realize you were there. There were 60-some thousand people there. And the impact that this had on little kids and dads and grandsons, and I mean, it's unbelievable when you think about it. And to think that you're involved in that, it's touching. I mean, it touches me. It's unbelievable to think that you're a small part of something that big. I felt like it was a reward for me for spending all those years in the minor leagues. I took it as a reward.
Jim Leyland's wife, Katie, and son, Patrick, with front row seats for what could be the biggest night of 52-year-old Jim Leyland's baseball life. As that 7th game played out, you fall behind 2-0. Bonilla hits a home run, gets you back in the game late. Bonilla sends one out of here, and it's a 2-1 game. You're still down a run going to the bottom of the 9th. This is one of the great games, not just because it was close, but because it was a chess match. There were so many subplots in this game, it would take an hour to recount them all.
No, there's no question about it. This was obviously one of the greatest games, probably the greatest games I was involved in.
Jim Leyland has waited through 34 seasons in professional baseball for this, trailing 2-1 as his team comes up for its last licks in Game 7. In the bottom of the 9th, it was rookie Craig Counsell who came through in the clutch. Game 7 of the World Series is tied. Then Florida would load the bases in the bottom of the 11th. Leyland's first World Championship was 90 feet away. It'll be up to Devon White.
When Devo came up, I'm thinking to myself, this one out, bases loaded. Devo hit a sac fly. We're world champions, you know. And then he grounded out to second. And so I'm looking back at my card and I'm looking ahead. I said, you're always trying to think ahead. I said, oh, I'm in a bind here. I had Alex Arias left on the bench. That was the only player I had left.
Only one Game 7 in World Series history has gone longer than this.
I was panicking a little bit, to be honest with you.
Renteria bats with 2 out, and a breaking ball is in there.
The first pitch I see to Edgar, a strike, and so now I'm starting to look again, and the next pitch I look up, boom, the World Series is over.
A liner off Nagy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
I was in the minor leagues 18 straight years, never thinking I was ever going to get to the big league. This was a long route for me, but it's something that I treasured.
A world championship for Jim Leyland. A career minor leaguer until he came up to the bigs as a coach. There he is with his young general manager, Dave Dombrowski.
We had a chance to share that moment. It was so important for him. It was so important for me, and of course for everybody else that was involved. He had a lot of coaches with us in Florida. They had been with him in Pittsburgh.